Online. Okay, cool. Facebook's online. Right, you want to wait for all three of them to go online, and then we can jump into it. Okay, cool. Sounds good, man. All right. Okay, and then also, now after this, I should probably toggle back to the restream chat and slobs, right? Or, okay. Yeah. Now we're good. And where's the timer here now on the video? Or does it not show it? Okay, cool, man. Alright, bye. Peace. Alright, let's jump back into this. Gotta get this one done. Superman lover, what's good? How you living, homie? Day 2 on these kicks, man. It's taking too long. I think I was on for like 3 hours yesterday, bro. It's a minute. Feel good Friday, homie. How you been? Look at these rough patches here. So I know one of the guys yesterday was mentioning that when he airbrushed last time, he saw a bunch of, bumps. It looked like, he said it looked like sandpaper. And so that's what he was mentioning. And that happens with the older kicks because as you're like grinding down all that paint, some of the midsole will also come down with it. It's pretty inevitable. I don't know of any other way to really bring down the paint as clean as this, getting down the bare bones. But whenever I paint with an airbrush, this always happens. Predominantly on the older kicks. Again, these are 2010, so they're like 10 years old. So what I'll do is I'm grabbing here. I'll show you actually. 320 Wet and Dry Sandpaper, and I'm using it dry. You can also use it wet. Wet meaning like you could dip it in water. That'll actually have a pretty nice effect as well when you want to smoothen things down. So, I like to give this a nice sand down just to get all these things to look a little bit smoother and more factory before I actually seal things up. So I don't know if anybody does that. Let me know if any of you guys do that. But if I do see something that I could just kind of help improve the look of it without doing too much more. This is just more like polishing almost. Getting that texture to look right. Should have a nice smooth finish, Shouldn't have bumps, so I like to just kind of knock it down a little bit. Refine it a little bit. Get in the grooves. You see this groove here? You can trail the groove just to get a nice defined line. Things like that is just, it's that extra attention to detail that you should look at if you care about getting it to look good. So check that out. And then what I'll do is if I still see dips, which sometimes you'll see dips, that's pretty natural, you can lay down by hand paint just a layer of white on the top. Alright, so what's good, everybody? How's everyone doing? Just want to say what's up to everyone. The Dye Lab in the building, pizza life, no sushi. What's good, homie? Feel good Friday. Apple Man, what's good, Adam? How you living, homie? How's life? Who else we got in the building? I know you missed last night, Dialab. We was looking for you. We said, where's Dialab at, man? He's usually here. He's usually at the barbecue, man. So yeah, this is what you missed last night. We stripped down. Let's show you guys a comparison so we can, if you did miss last night, if you are looking to do some midsole stuff, this is where we're at. So we can, I mean, I can clearly see that the cracks have now been improved on, for lack of better words. I have a feeling that somebody did repaint these midsoles for him before, because like now that I'm looking at it, if you look at the air bubble here, it looks like there's like silver paint. I don't know if that's paint or not, but I could see right there, I can see that there's like cracks, and I can still see that milky air bubble in there. So I don't know if these have been repainted or not, but we're definitely gonna get them back to a nice clean version of what they used to be, you know what I mean? So today my goal is to finish up the shoe. I've still got this top portion here. What I've been doing is not only sanding down the white, but I've also been now just trying to get in this. See that edge right there? It's really hard with the Q-tip and acetone to get in there without affecting that elephant print. All right, so what I'll do is I'll grab some sandpaper here. Let me just move this Team Viewer deal out of the way. I can see what you guys are saying. I'll grab that same edge. I see that nice fine edge. Usually what we do, at least at the body shop, we used to do this. It's a tri-fold. You tri-fold it like that because it just, if you don't do it in three, it just kind of is not stable after some time. It'll tear apart. This gives it a little bit of strength. Press down and then go right against that grain. You really just want to get to that point where you feel that, see that black paint that's on that edge? We're trying to feather it down so there's no line there. And once I put this down, I'll show you guys what I mean by a line there. But I want to try to get it as close to possible without hitting that elephant print. Now, what I mean by a line is, you guys see where the white, there's a white line here, and then on top of that there's that black line. So these was black paint, white paint, and then it's just bare boned. I want to get all three of these to be a nice smooth transition. If you don't, then you're going to have a line, and so when you paint it over, you'll see those lines. So we want to make sure that that line is kind of faded out, you know? It's almost like having a bowl cut. If you want to have a bowl cut, it's all good, but I'd rather it be tapered down and faded in. So once you paint this thing black, you won't see those edges, those layers. So that's what I've done here, right? And I did that all pretty much offline. But I think we're pretty much now ready to paint that black midsole. So today I'm going to do that. I'm going to do that with, let's do it hand painted today. You know, we did airbrush yesterday. So we're going to jump from airbrush to hand painting today, all right? Before I start painting that, obviously we sanded, right? So there's a bunch of dust and particles and stuff. So let's blow all of that off. Let me just grab one of those desktop blowers real quick. Before I jump in to get that blower, I just want to say what's up to everybody. Let me see who else is in the building. I think, oh, by the way, guys, we're streaming in 3 different platforms today, and I think we finally got the connection right, dude. So shout out to Speed Infusion, dude. We've been working to get this thing going for quite some time, and we always drop like in the middle of the tutorial. So knock on wood. I'll just knock on my head because that's the closest thing I got to wood. That it doesn't happen today. Legacy Colorway Customs, what is good, man? It's been a minute, man. Hopefully you've been well. Oh, he did a 2007 Jordan 3 midsole repaint too. Yeah, I'm not really fond of these midsole repaints, man. It's a very tedious process, and you know, to be honest with you, man, I get like not arthritis, but it hurts my hands after a while. And this is we're just doing one. We're just working on one so far. So Let me get, where's it at? I gotta get a quick airbrush blower. Or you know what I could do? Let me just, duh. That one is not going too well. Let's get into the other one here. Where did it go? Let's see. No, it's not gonna work. Okay, give me a sec, guys. I'm gonna just grab a blower. Better to do it that way anyways. Here we go. There we go, guys. So that should take care of all the dust particles and stuff after I sand that down. All right, so we got that good to go. I got a little bit in the chat, so let me just see what's good with everybody else. Legacy, man, I know that you might have missed yesterday, but I did do, some Adhesion Promoter on this. I've done some, here's the Adhesion Promoter, actually. Adhesion Promoter, and then we did some flat white with some GAC. Where'd that GAC go? Golden 200. Here we go. GAC 200, half and half. All right, and that got me to this point here. We've sanded it down now, just to get a nice smoother looking finish. Now, as I go through, guys, when I finish this last coat, I haven't put a last coat on it. I'm gonna hand paint just one more coat of white on top of this, and what that's going to do is any small little bumps and particles that I left behind that need to be filled in, they'll fill in automatically. And that's what's great about just painting at the end, is because it'll self level. All right, so that'll get rid of most of the bumps, most of the spots that you might be a little insecure about. All right, let's see what else we got in the building here. Literally eating pizza as we speak. I like that, man. I wish I could be saying the same thing right now. The rubber is so bad on these joints. Yeah, it's tough, man. These are from 2010, so I still got to clean up the bottom. So speaking of, let me just kind of show you guys what I do with cleaning the bottoms up. This is just Q-tip. This is acetone, guys. And I told you guys this yesterday. I should have listened to my own advice, but I'll run through like this and just try to get it to kind of clean itself off with the Q-tip. Most of the time it'll come out, and if it doesn't come out, then I can even use a razor blade, because if you use an X-Acto, you might just have to chip it out. Either way, it's best to take it off as soon as you can. And I missed that yesterday. Again, this is GAC 200 and paint. So that GAC 200 right here, when you have that mixed in anything, this is what you get. It's really tough to take off paint and stuff like that. So I'd have to sit here and chip it all off. That's an L for me. Let's see if I could take a couple of off. See, it's almost like you're rubbing it off. And this is another reason why you can see, people always ask me, can you paint your soles? Well, this is paint on soles, and you can see it's scratching off pretty easy. So, there we go. Ivan, thank you so much for subscribing, dude. Appreciate that, homie. Speed Infusion, when you get a chance, man, I'm looking at the mini feed, and there's nothing going on in the mini feed. So could you just let me know, because I see that some people are subscribing. Actress 1971 just subscribed as well. Thank you so much. Really appreciate you guys, man. So you can see, I'm gonna have to just run through and scratch anything off that I should have done that yesterday. You know what I mean? Again, there's a little bit here, so let's see if we could just take that off. It might even be overspray. So, and then I have to run through here, and you know, I switch up. You know, this is dirty, it's been used now. Flip it, a little bit acetone again, and I think I mentioned this yesterday. This is kind of like painting. So yeah, I mean, this was, I don't know if this was just overspray, or maybe this was from the last time he got this repainted. But either way, this is how you would take the paint off there. Alright, so that's boring stuff. I'm just showing you guys so you know. Let's jump into the black portion real quick. I've got to grab some paint. I think I mentioned this to you guys yesterday, but this stuff right here, man, if you guys don't have like some proper ventilation, you can get real lightheaded. So, you know, just keep that in mind. You know, you really don't want to be sniffing this stuff up, man. I had a pretty bad headache the morning of today. Just trying to recover from it, dude. No reason to have a headache if you don't need to, right? So I'm pretty sure that's the reason why I did. Josh, what's good, homie? Josh Chesler in the building, guys. Chesler Customs. How you living, homie? I could see you, bro. Sorry, man. I've just been talking nonstop like I usually do, right? Five, 6, 7. Got 7 drops there. And this is just flat black, guys. So let's see if I can try to get 7 here too, okay? I got him. What's good, homie? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Maybe we could put a couple more drops in there. This looks like it came out a little bit thinner. That black was gloppy. Right? So I'm going to say that that's a fairly even mix. Half and half, alright? Dink Customs, what's good, homie? How are you, Draper? I appreciate that, man. It's funny because he just picked those kicks up. He had those, and then I made some, you guys remember those black and yellow SBs? And I just put some Wu-Tang logos on those. Both of those kicks were Fred's. So I hope he was happy with that. Nice little touch on, I think, both of them, to be honest. Alright, so let's see what I'm working with today here. Princeton Select 3/8 of an inch angular shader. It's just like my preferred, you know, because you can see here it fits pretty well in the panel. I like the angular shape too because when I gotta hit little cuts, I've got almost like a little pointer here. So before I jump into actually painting it, I do want to hit a little bit of Adhesion Promoter on it. That's why we're gonna tape off a couple of things real quick. Alright, I don't want to get Adhesion Promoter on stuff like the elephant print. That would be not smart, especially because we've gotten this far, right? So let's just kind of lay it out. I like to lay it out a little loose. Loose meaning like it doesn't need to be perfect, but you know, the majority of the Adhesion Promoter I don't want it to hit. So let's get it as close as possible. I'm using the blue tape from yesterday just because it doesn't have a lot of adhesion. It won't pull off any of the elephant print, and I've seen that happen before. It won't pull off paint as long as it's dried for long enough. Alright, so again, I'm recycling all of the pieces from yesterday, and this is actually a great time to recycle them because you just want that Adhesion Promoter. Oops, where'd that come from? You just want the Adhesion Promoter to hit the midsole, really. And so this kind of used tape is nice. It's just good enough. It'll hold long enough to cover that. Little side skirt. There you go. That looks good, right, guys? Now I gotta put a little for the bubble as well. If I was smart, I would have saved the ones from yesterday. I have no idea where they're at now. So my goal right now is just to get the adhesion promoter on the black, okay? Because of that, things like, for example, this bottom, again, it doesn't need to be perfectly taped, but you want to get it somewhere close. The adhesion promoter comes out clear, so that's a plus. But then again, it's also kind of like glue, so you don't want it to be unnecessarily like on your shoes, because it's going to attract like dust and hairs and threads and stuff like that later on. Alright, so I'm almost done with this, y'all. Fees G, what's good? How you living, homie? Day 2 back, huh? You're trying to watch us finish this up today, right? Alright. I think that looks pretty good, right, guys? You can see the good majority of it is covered. Alright. Just go all the way around. Everything looks good. I got a little tape on this piece. Should be off. Cool. And then I just got to wrap around real quick and knock this side out. That should be pretty easy. At this point, I should have just taped it for real and just airbrushed it off, huh? Would have been probably the same amount of time. It's all good. It's a nice Friday. Good day to jump into a little bit of airbrushing and hand painting. Alright. That's good enough. Alright, cool. Alright, where you order those brushes from, I've been looking for those but can't find them. Superman Lover, if you could send me a DM, bro, you know what, maybe I could, if you could give me a second, bro, I think I might have a link for them right away. And if I don't, I'll DM you, or if you could DM me. Actually, that'd be man, that'd be amazing if you could DM me, just because I get so many things on my plate to do. And I'll find you a link for all this stuff, bro. No problem at all. Draper, the next episode's coming real soon, man, because this whole COVID situation, bro, kind of messed things up. We just didn't want to do anything to, like, compromise anyone's safety, you know? It's going to be this month, though. Alright, so this is the adhesion promoter, guys. Again, make sure your windows are open or you got fans on or something, man. This thing can get you dizzy. In the beginning, I like to stretch the paint out. We have a nice thin layer. Also, I'm not necessarily aiming to be perfect on the layer. I'm just trying to spread it enough where I could see that first layer will start to dry. You can see as it dries, you can start to form it. What I mean by forming is, I'll show you guys a little bit of a close-up on that. You can see spots here that look like they have brush strokes, and you can still form them, move them in a different section of the midsole. So that's kind of what my goal is here, is just to get just some coverage on the actual midsole. And as I see any imperfections, I try to smooth them out. Because this is our first layer, every layer on top is going to keep building on it, right? So the more imperfections you have on the base, the more imperfections you'll have in the whole midsole at the end. Just trying to get the top here. Usually I like to start in the middle, get all of the middle section first, and then creep out to the edges, you know. Now I'm not going to go all the way through. I'm just trying to get the body of the midsole, at least a nice coverage of black here. Now again, that adhesion promoter I used earlier, it's kind of like glue for this paint too, so that's why I like to use it. Any spots that I see that might potentially have any kind of a brush stroke or looks clumpy, I'm moving it out of the way. And you notice I'm not pushing into the actual shoe, I'm just whisking, trying to get a nice smooth stroke on the entire midsole here. See, I can start to see it already start to dry. So that's a good first step, you know, and for it to be our actual first layer, that's laid down pretty dark. All right, so let's go ahead and let that side kind of dry a little bit, okay? As we wait for that side to kind of dry out, let's do the same thing on this side. Now, because I know this is still drying, I got to be conscious of that side, okay? Don't put your hand in that. So let's put this down. Same deal here, okay? Laying out some of that SEM Adhesion Promoter, and now I'm immediately just dipping in and trying to get to this body of the midsole. Just want to lay it out thin, smooth. I remember when I first started to do this, I used to concentrate so hard on getting everything done, you know, like smooth right here, but honestly, after some time, you just realize this is just paint and you can just drop it on here and you can manipulate it by moving it around. So once you feel more comfortable with this, painting midsoles like this, hand painting them, is not difficult to do. Alright, so it's more of an experience kind of a thing. See, for example, like the line here, just got to try to line out as clean as possible. See it, form the line and then push out. Form the line and push out. That's how you'll develop a nice clean line here. Now if you want to get even more detailed, you can get your detail brush out. But usually this will do the trick. You know, you don't need get a really small detail brush to knock that out. And again, I can see it now because it's so thin. I've laid it out so nice and thin. I can see it's already starting to dry. Cool? You know, FeesG, we were supposed to do a class last February 2020, bro. I was all amped to do the class, and unfortunately we had to cancel it because of COVID. I'm hoping, man, after all these vaccinations and stuff, we can start teaching again. I had a class before. It was in downtown LA, and man, I think we had a great time. We had about 25 students. So I haven't done like one-on-one tutoring with anyone really. I've done more of class settings, and I enjoy doing this. So you can imagine for me to teach people in person is just even more fun. You get to meet people, and you get to share the same craft and hobby. That's what's cool about the whole thing. Like before this, I used to fix up cars, and we used to be in car clubs, and we used to do car shows, and it's just we had that same vibe. You know what I mean? Like you meet people with the same interests as you. So I would love to do, and we'll see, man. It's going to take some time, but hopefully this year we can start teaching again, like in person. So I'll tell you right now, if that happens, you guys will definitely know through these streams as well. So if you haven't already, why don't you guys hit that subscribe button for me if you guys want to learn. I know today's tutorial is a little bit more basic, but for those of you who are painting midsoles, maybe you learned a different process. See, I'm getting really, really close to that edge, and when I have tape on my shoe, I can't tell where I'm painting underneath it, so I don't like to get too close. So I back away from that edge. And that'll just take any excess paint, and it'll also smoothen out all these curves here. You guys will see in the next step I'm going to take the tape off, and that way I'm not painting blindly. Also note, since I'm working on the whole midsole, I'm balancing this whole thing on just the front of the shoe. I find that kind of easy to do. That way I don't accidentally put my hand in the black paint and I just paint it on either side. So that's annoying when you got a big old fingerprint in the job, right? A little side-to-side action here, just to get that paint to be dispersed. I don't want this first layer to be bunched up or thick anywhere. It should be nice and smooth. There we go. It's looking pretty good right now. I've got a couple of, I think you guys could see the drip. See the drip here? Got to clean that drip up before it dries out on me. I'm gonna move it in a different direction. So really that's all this is. I've taught kids before, and I've told them, pretend like you're making a peanut butter sandwich and you're trying to lay that peanut butter down as smooth as possible on that bread. And you'll be surprised how many kids understand that concept, and they're like really thin, light strokes, and you can never go wrong building with light strokes. And you love to see the progress, right? I can also see, and I've noticed this about the older midsoles. The older midsoles, after you put acetone on them, sometimes you'll paint them and they'll start to suck in paint. Do you guys see that little section there? So just pay particular attention to the sections like that, because they might need another coat or two to kind of catch them up, because it looks like this midsole didn't necessarily collapse, but it's starting to kind of sink in, and that's because the acetone affected the strength of that midsole. All right, so that's looking pretty good. I'm going to do one more layer just like I did. Okay, I'm just giving this some time to dry. So as that dries, I just want to say what's good to Verdal. Verdal, what's good? Happy Friday. Feel good Friday, homie. Fiji has a great question. He said, Do you have family who follow in your footsteps? And my daughter and I just did a video on YouTube. I think you're on YouTube too, right, Fees? We just did how to do a custom with your kids, and so she's getting. Look, I'm not gonna push her into the whole thing, but I think she's got a lot of potential. So I'm hoping that she does get into this, because I think that with her creativity and with, like, obviously I now have resources like materials and paints. They're all here, like at her own disposal. So like, she should take advantage of it. But if she doesn't want to do it, that's on her too. So yeah, that's long story. When I should have probably just said, yeah, my daughter. And maybe my boy. My boy he's only 3, but he comes over here and steals all my paints, and he steals all my shoelace supplies. So there's a potential with him too. And he already told me that he's going to take all my shoes, which is not a good thing. So I'm just hoping he doesn't get to a size 12. Dilab, what's good, man? Got to bounce, fam. Okay, no worries, man. Going nuts in Enchanted Castle. It's a game room. Oh, that's sick. No worries, man. Patreon fam out. I appreciate you, homie. Q the most, what's good? How you living? You know how like you want your kids to be something where they're super successful and cool, and I want all that for them too, but you can't force people into doing things that they don't like. So all right, man, so let me do this one more time. Real quick note, guys, the because I put this GAC 200, the brush starts to get, it's going to get dry too, because we've put it on here and we put it on the brush. So when the bristles start to feel a little tacky, like they're drying out, you might want to clean the brush off. So let me do that real quick. This is going to be a challenge. This is going to be fun, because I got to hold this and do it at the same time. See, I can feel like they're not even moving. Look at this. They're not moving. And that's no bueno. So let's clean this guy up real quick. I've got a little bottle cap here, and I just dip this in. It'll break the bristles up real quick. You want to be able to feel the bristles move, right? There we go. Now you could feel them moving. When they spread, that's a good thing. So it's important to take care of the brushes too, guys. Like, they're an investment for you. If you leave paint in too hard on these guys, I mean, they just get so like messed up, all the bristles, so you're just going to end up wasting them. All right, so I've done that plenty of times, letting you guys know right now. All right, guys. Fiji said, yeah, I'm on YouTube. I made my daughter some customs after watching after the Galaxy custom. That's awesome, dude. It's funny, she wore those Galaxy customs one time after that, and then never wore them again. And then I'd ask her, like, because I think she was only like 4 years old then, and I'd ask her, I'm like, yo, not trying to force her, but yo, how come you don't wear those Jordans? Oh, Dad, I don't wear Jordans. I only wear Yeezys. What the hell does she know about wearing Yeezys at 4 years old is what I want to know. And who told her about Yeezys like that? I've never even explained to her what Yeezys and stuff are, but I think, the kids, they just like, they listen, and she could just tell about the hype. Isn't that funny? They really are, when they want to be interested in something, they can sit there and just eavesdrop. But when they don't want to listen to you to clean up, then they're just sound off. You're on mute. So again, this is my second coat in, and I'm not trying to really get the edges. I just want to get close enough, but at the end we'll fill in the edges a little bit more. Right now I just want to get this body taken care of. This is obviously the majority of the whole midsole here. So getting these filled in, some of the spots have little bumps, might be a little wavy. We're taking care of all that by just painting a couple of light layers on there. Again, you guys could see that I do go across, and light really helps me out, you know, because when you have lighting you can see where there's any brush strokes. You can see like oil, I call them oil patches because they're kind of like this. See, they have a little puddle almost, and it'll help you to move that paint out of the way into somewhere else that might need it. It's kind of the second layer down. Obviously it's still drying, so it looks shiny right now to you guys, I'm sure. Looks shiny on camera, at least to me. Here's spots that you got to finish feathering in. See that? Just make sure it's not a puddle. It's really what your end goal is here. Same thing, now we're going to do the other side here. You notice I haven't really done the edge. Alright, and then immediately jumping back into the brush, spreading that paint thin. You're trying to, again, like this side here looks pretty smooth already, so we don't have to worry about any anything to fill in, really. It's a good thing, right? So now we're just trying to really get that black to be saturated on the midsole there. There we go. I got to get this bottom a little bit. I missed that last time. I should have probably got that first layer down a little bit more cleaner, but it's okay. We'll get it right now. See, again, you can notice that there's a puddle here. I'm gonna try to get that all out. Smarter for me not to paint too close to the edge with a puddle of paint right there in my brush, you know? I was the one who put that down too heavy. You guys could see this little, it's almost like a meteorite hit it out of nowhere. Again, it's an older midsole, so sometimes parts of it, for lack of better words, collapse a little bit. So let's just go ahead and put a little bit of paint there. Let's see if it'll start to fill in a little bit, and then feather a little bit around it. Alright guys, so this is about the time where I'm going to see the paint start to dry. It's kind of like last call at the bar. You're gonna smoothen this thing out, or it's gonna be one of the things that you gotta fix later. So how's that look? The lighter you are with your brush, the nicer you'll be when it comes to like smoothing out any of the brush strokes that you see. So I guess if you want to take away something from this lesson today, it's practicing your pressure with your brush. You feel me? Trendsetter Ace, what's good, man? I just saw the question. So Trendsetter's out on YouTube, and he asked something really important, man. I think a lot of you guys, especially if you're starting off, might be interested. He said, how many coats should you paint a section on a shoe? You know, yesterday we were painting white, and honestly, man, I feel like I could paint that white 6 or 7 coats and I would still be feeling like it wasn't white enough. So it's really dependent on the colors. Black, for example, this is my second coat. I mean, I don't really see me going more than another coat if I really even have to do that, but I have to get all the edges. But if you have something like a yellow or a light gray or a light pink, it might take more coats. Usually I try to get it to be about 3 or 4 coats, I think is a good solid number to say. And then on top of that, I'll put something to protect the paint, like a scratch resistant sealer, you know. So alright, so let me go ahead now. I'm going to peel this guy off. I don't like to have tape too long on elephant print or any kind of suedes, and that's just because, you know, I don't want to compromise the nap on it. I don't want it to pull something off it shouldn't. These have been around for a long time too, you know. 10 years of being manufactured is quite some time. Pulling off the bottom here now. And again, this is why I don't like tape, because I don't know. You gotta uncover the tape to see what the heck happened underneath it. Usually I don't do with the tape, but I do want to protect that elephant print, you know. Look, I think I might have just smudged that myself, or maybe not. I don't know. Let's see if we can take that off real quick. Where's that acetone at? I'm gonna definitely have to repaint that, but at least we could try to clean up a little bit of it. Switch sides. Not adding a bunch of acetone on there. Just enough to strip that paint off. Might have saved it. Probably gonna need another layer though. Alright, let's put that to the side. Alright, so hopefully that answered your question, Trendsetter. Superman, what's good, man? I got another question from you. As I'm painting, I notice the paint kind of absorbs up the brush. Should I clean my brush like every 3 minutes? Yeah, absolutely, man. I definitely encourage you to clean that brush up, because, you know, this is just a bunch of liquid and a bunch of pigments, and then they mix it all together. Sometimes it can get clumpy on your brush, and then sometimes you get hairs on your brush. All kinds of different stuff can happen. So I like to try to clean this, you know. Yeah, that's a good, I would say a good starting point, about every 3 minutes, you know, just to make sure that all your artwork looks clean. It's important, right? Taping is 100% of art, man. Dialab, I agree with you. Once you get the taping down, man, it you know, it's a world of difference when it really comes down to it, because you can tape well and just take everything off and just not have to worry about anything. Same thing with stencils too, you know. If you get good at laying down stencils, you can avoid a lot of overspray and stuff like that, and just be finished with the job faster, dude. Have a cleaner execution. So taping is definitely, like, it's something that I think it's overlooked a lot of the times. People don't look at that as an art, but it's definitely an art. An art that I'm like not like loving to do, but it's just something that's, you know, part of when you airbrush or part of when you paint or customize, right? Superman Lover, that's just in time, bro. I just read your comment. He said, yes, it is, bro. I be having so much touch-ups when I peel off the tape. You know, I think you gotta make sure that before you ever peel off, the paint underneath is dry. I think a lot of people are so anxious, like, I can't wait to pull it all off. And you gotta know the dry times. You know, you get more and more experience doing that, right? So, all right, guys. So again, you know, not the best of job taping off here, I think, but this is where you do the touch-ups. And again, same brand brush. This is a Princeton, and all I'm doing here is trying to establish the line a little bit. As I establish that line, then I paint away from the actual line. So here you guys can see I've got A little bit of touching up to do. You know, honestly, touching up is, if you take the time to touch up, then you're doing a great job because you care about your work, right? C. Jerkins, what's good? Thank you so much for the donation, homie. Came through on the super chat again. Alright, so we got a little bit here. This is the mess up. This is the mess up I did. And you can see here I kind of laid out more paint on purpose. Just because I know I'm going to be having to spread white paint here. I'm going to have to give that another couple of minutes to kind of dry out, you know? So let's run through and see what else we kind of missed. I know for sure the black edges we got to do, right? This little section here. I laid too much paint on my brush there, so I dip a little bit off because I could see this isn't a big fix. And you guys can notice that when I run through this part, I'm just going left to right here. Left to right, okay? I think the majority of this looks good. I have to see if that is black or white there. I was a little confused. So let's go ahead and peel this guy off real quick. Here we go. Yeah, it looks to be painted black here. And let me grab the other one here real quick and we can double check that. I do have some pits. I think we talked about the pits before. So I'm going to try to lay out a little bit of paint here. I could feel this brush needs to be broken up a little bit. And this is how we achieve that smooth finish that we were talking about before. Again, remember I wet sanded, well not wet sanded, I dry sanded this with the wet sandpaper. So, you know, it did give a little bit of a smooth finish, a little bit more of a grit to it. And so this is going to be like my last layer of paint for the white. I'm going to try to get everything nice and finalized here. Everything should look nice and smooth. There's going to be some potential dips, man. I mean, there's not much you can do about it, but you know, maybe lay a little bit more paint on top of it and then just try to very lightly smoothen that out. And now I could see that it's on that brink of drying there. So, you know, the white is drying now. I'm going to switch back and forth because now we got this one white portion drying. We got the black portion that we still got to do the edges real quick. So let's knock that out real quick. And then we're going to protect it with some sealer. There we go. There's sections that I know for sure that I'm going to have to put more white paint, but you know, we can always jump back into it. Might need to add a little bit heavier coats. That's what happens when you have small mess ups, right? Want to try to avoid all the small mess ups, that way you don't have to fix them. Alright, let's put this guy down. I need to dip this again. This is, otherwise it's going to turn all hard and the bristles won't move. So, and I'm going to just go ahead and clean that brush off. Now I could feel the brush is moving. We're good. Let's jump back into the black real quick. This here feels a little tough. Sometimes that's not a bad thing, especially when you're doing edges. So I'm not going to dip it. I'm going to just hold it as is, because when it's a little tough like that, then I could use it like almost like a pen, you know? You could spread that paint and then move it down. This is the time when I start to really concentrate on the edges. For those of you that don't feel like comfortable with how close you are to the elephant print, you can always mask the elephant print out. So don't be bold and risky if you feel uncomfortable, you know what I mean? This takes time to feel comfortable with. I'm gonna put the shoe down so I could pivot it. So the whole point of getting these edges here is get a little bit of paint, spread the paint, you know, as long as you can in a line here, and then smoothen the paint out, which is the main goal at the end, right? Is have a smooth job here. So I'll take it, I'll spread it all the way through, and you know, you'll start to feel like after some time, oh yeah, that looks like it's on that brink of drying, and that's when you want to shape it out. See, when you learn about drying time of the paints, it can really help you out, because then you can understand how far you could paint a panel and not have to worry about all these different marks and stuff. You know, because you know, like, okay, well, I know it takes a minute to dry or 30 seconds to dry, but you know, if you ever get to that point where it's almost dried and you feel like, oh man, I missed that point, all you got to do is just add a little bit more paint, and it'll just dilute it again, it'll make it wet again. Swipe down, swipe down. See, as I swipe down, I remember this black line that we were trying to feather out in the beginning. Now you're kind of smoothing out all the paint right on top of it. Luis Calderon, man, that's a great question. I was going to text him today too and say, bro, what's up with this back tab, homie? You can see cracks and yellow. It looks like it's been painted, I think, you know? That's what it's... I'm getting these restoration vibes when I look at the actual shoe. So I got to find out, man, if he's interested in doing that, and if he does, then of course, you know, we'll be live again. We'll continue this restoration process. Haven't done a restoration video in a minute, so it's different. See, this brush is so elegant with the tip here. It's very easy to just paint down and feel comfortable with making lines here. Again, it takes a little experience, you know, but once I would say if you get like a year of painting under your belt, which I don't think that's a long time, it's just I think the dedication to doing it for a year is probably the harder thing, you know. You can become a very, I think, talented person with the brush. And that's just a give or take, you know, like some people will excel and be amazing after a month, or they might have experience with brushes and something else. It's like tattoo artists have experience in making tattoos, and then they jump into doing custom shoes, and they're usually amazing, especially like the guys who do like realism. So here we got a little wedge. Just follow that wedge out, right? And that line ends right there. I've got a bunch of paint, so we've got to move it. And I've got a lot, like this yellow line here that I got to fill in the black, so this is where I'm going to move it to. See if I could maybe just pivot the shoe and I can show you guys how to do that. I'm just using the tip of this brush here. It helps me develop like a nice clean line. See how easy that is to fill? Dope, right? Alright, so we got this little back end here. Whoa! Almost slipped out my hand. Back end's not hard to do at all. It's basically there's this line and I'm just following the line. So I think this is a good introduction to doing restorations here. You guys learned how to strip the paint. You guys learned how to paint the midsole in 2 different ways. You know, we're got a little bit complex, but still kept it simple. How's that look, guys? We're getting there, right? Still kind of waiting for that top black layer to dry. I gotta find out what that little piece is. Let's find that out. Lewis, thanks, man. I appreciate that, dude. I'm glad to hear, you know, that it's therapeutic to watch, man. That's just kind of why I got into the whole thing, you know? Why I got into customs in the first place. Yeah, I missed that little white spot. It should be white. Oh, what? Did I mess up on this? Yeah, dude, I did. Kill myself right now. This whole bottom I messed up, yo. This whole bottom I think should be white. Let me double check that. Oh, I hate myself right now. It should be white, yo. You guys see that? It looks good, but it's not, man. This part should be white. Look, Superman. You see this little section here? It's white. I messed up. So I'm going to have to tape it off and I'm going to have to paint it white. It's funny, none of you guys noticed that, huh? It's okay. It's going to have to be the next session through because since we're painting this whole black, I can't tape it off right now. But I can get this little white section here, so let's knock it out. Crazy. I was wondering why that looked weird right there. Alright, well, I'm not going to paint it, you know, white by hand. That's going to take a long time. Nah, I wasn't a customer, doll. I just wasn't paying attention. So technically, this is where the white line should be here. So let's see how long that'll take me. It's going to take me a while, I think, because we just painted this section here. Alright. That was embarrassing. Well, I'm human. I'm gonna just give myself a break. So we should be painting it right there. But I swear I felt like maybe I've seen threes that have that kind of an edge. I don't know. I can't believe I messed up on that. Alright, well let's finish up the edge on this black, man. And then we can, hopefully we can knock out the rest on the next stream. So just using that really, really close edge to get all the sharp edges down here, corners, and make sure that looks straight. I think this only needs one more, coat. So let's go ahead and jump into the last coat here. And then after that, I would go ahead and just apply some scratch resistant sealer. Today I'm going to wait on that because I usually wait for the whole custom to be completed, And again, I may have to mask off that elephant print. I don't like to get anything on there. What's nice is I could feel the paint in that, like, ideal, almost like tar, like it kind of is paint, but it's getting thicker. If that makes sense. And that's actually a great thing because it fills any like potholes a little bit nicer, because it kind of has body to it. See it? So spots like this is what I want to concentrate on now. I'm going to get a nice thick coat in there. Well, I'm glad I didn't do this to two shoes. Could have been worse, huh? This is like the GAC 200 is now like starting to kick in. And you could see the effects of it. I'll tell you when it actually dries though, man, it is on there. I'd say the only caveat to this is you got to really monitor the drying process right here, just to make sure there's no lumps. Usually everything levels out well though. This is kind of like cement. I've told you guys this before, but if you haven't heard, this is kind of like at that phase of, when they take the cement out of the actual truck and they have it spinning because they don't want it to dry in the truck, so they have it spinning. But eventually enough air gets exposed on that cement and you can see it start to harden. And so that's kind of where we're at on this phase, on this black right here. On the hardening phase. So if you got any kind of gaps or spots that you need to fill in, this is the best time to do it. I got one like right here, for example. Lay out a couple of coats on it, let it fill in. This is where you give it an opportunity to like even out in the whole custom. Alright, I think I got one more pit right here. Yeah, see this big old pit? Trying my best to get it, but it is what it is if I can't. Okay, no problem, man. Let me get the brushes for you guys in the chat real quick. But let me show you guys a quick. Obviously, I need to repaint that there. It is what it is. But let me show you guys a quick result on what it looks like here. I do see this part here needs to. It's clumping up right there, so I'd rather just do that section over. Again, I still need to lay down some scratch resistant sealer on that, okay? So what I'm hoping for is, oh, you know what, I missed this little spot too, so let's get that spot. There we go. I think I didn't finish this little section here. Boy, I'm 2 for 2. But yeah, I love using this brush for these kind of projects here because the bristles really work with you, like when you're trying to get a nice clean line or a nice clean edge. They do a great job. Alright, so I think we're pretty much set. I think maybe I need to do just one more layer of, well, I guess I got to figure out this whole situation here on the bottom. So, you know, that's going to probably have to be for tomorrow. Now, when I lay down the scratch resistant sealer, where's that guy at? This LK sealer. What it's going to do is it's going to end up filling in some more of the holes. So if I have anything that's a little bit uneven with that midsole, guys, then it'll start to fill that in, and it'll be a clear. It's a clear coat, you know. It's a scratch-resistant clear coat. So it'll protect all the work that we just did today, and it'll also help from scratching and stuff. So that's two major things for me. I'm gonna lay down one coat here, and then get you guys those links for the brushes and everything. Okay. And from now on, I'm gonna try to make it a point to have links ready before. Today we're just jumping on. I was just trying to finish this custom up. I got to finish it up. So yeah. But yeah, if I can start to get these links available for you guys in the beginning, I definitely will. Sometimes it's just, I'm happy that the stream's running with no problems. That's, for me, that's already a plus. All right, so again, I'm looking for little gaps here. You can see how smooth the brush is when it kind of goes right on top of the coats here. And that's exactly what I want. I want it to be nice and smooth, because that way all of the little gaps that we have, they'll start filling in. So we got to fill this in too now, right? I feel like so much white right there. I don't know why. Somebody asked right now, I think it was Lewis, how come you don't use a heat gun? That's a great question, man. A lot of people use a heat gun. I'm really against using heat guns because some of this paint gets compromised, man, when you guys use heat guns. I don't know how many of you guys know that or not. But yeah, man, the heat gun, it can actually make the paint weaker, the bond weaker. And you know, the way I work, I feel like I work at a pretty, I'm gonna say I work at a slow pace, but I work at a pace where I feel like when I get to the next step, the paint's already dry, so I don't need a heat gun. I don't feel like it's gonna exactly benefit me from using it. You know what I mean? So I just jump in and lay this out like a dum-dum. And you guys are so nice, you didn't even say nothing. try to get that line in one swoop. Let's see. This may happen, this may not. Let's see.
Are you filming?
Yeah. Really just trying to aim for getting that line first. There we go. And now that I got that line, just going to try to press the rest of the white down a little bit. I don't know how many of you guys have done this before. But it wasn't part of the lesson, that's for sure. Alright, it's all good, man. Happens. Alright, so that line looks pretty consistent. And then I'm going to just have to finish this up right here too. So more than likely I'm going to just airbrush that in, guys. My apologies for even showing you guys that that part right there, you know. But oh man, Graham, what's good, man? How you doing, doggy? Luis Calderon, do you use heat gun? It's okay if you do, man. I mean, I've seen customizers all the time using a heat gun. It's just usually I'm not in a rush. I think that's the only time I'll really jump into using like a heat gun or a air blow dryer, you know. Like liquid kick stuff, you're not even supposed to be using. He's told me before, don't use a heat gun on it. It's gonna affect the finish, and you know, that's good enough for me to know, you know, not to do it. Exactly, man. I mean, my sentiments exactly. It's about how you finish, right? So yeah, I mean, this is, man. I wish I had the opportunity to finish this one today, guys, but. You know, I think it'll be one more session before I knock this one out, or at least to show you guys the finished results on it. You know, I do apologize for not getting this 100 the first time through. I think maybe it was just I was too concentrated on doing the other things in the tutorial. You know, happens. Maybe I can name this one How to Come Back from a Mess Up. There we go. Yeah, so we got to get, probably going to get the airbrush out just to airbrush the back end, and it'll be a lot easier than sitting here literally watching paint dry. Right? I got something right there. I think we should probably fix that. It looks like a dirt mark. But yeah, guys, do you have any questions? Let me know. You know, I think I got most of your guys' questions answered today. 4:48 p.m. Feel Good Friday, everybody. It's was a beautiful day in Los Angeles. Now it's gotten really kind of cold. It's getting cold here fast at nighttime. Let me know if you guys have any questions. I'm on board. Alright, let me see if I can get those links together for you guys real quick. While I'm doing that, if you guys have questions, please shoot them my way, man. I hope you guys liking this new mic, man. I heard this stream yesterday. You know, just to recap, make sure everything sounded good, and man, it sounded real crisp. So shout out to you guys for that, you know. Another shout out to Webb's Custom Kicks, man. He put in another $30 yesterday. I believe it was a super chat. We're trying to get another camera for y'all, man. If we can get another camera for you guys, we can get a second angle, and I think that'll just help the learning experience for you guys. Again, I'm trying my best to work on getting a class together. So if you guys are interested in taking a personal class, just got to kind of figure out the logistics, whether we should be doing, like, for example, a recon class, should we be doing a painting class, stuff like that. And once we get that stuff settled out, we can figure out what to do. I think this might be, just trying to find that link for you guys too. I think I may have found it. No, that's not it. Okay, I'm looking, guys, so just bear with me here, okay? I want to make sure that Superman Lover gets taken care of. I know he asked for the so yeah, I'll send him out to you, Superman. I can't see exactly where it is, man. Sorry, bro. I'm running through my YouTube videos for you right now, and I'll get you squared away, man. Don't even trip. But they are Princeton brushes. I love this particular one. The Princeton Selects work really well for me, and so yeah, if you're gonna choose one, I think that would be the one I would recommend using. But I think I had one a link here of where, like, there was an actual pack that we used, and that would be ideal if I could find that link for you, man. Let's see. Yeah, bro, I'll have to get back to you, doggy. Sorry, man. Yeah, Verdal, man, you're right, bro. I'm trying to concentrate. I'm trying to strip the thing. I'm trying to not hit this elephant print. I'm trying to talk through the custom. So, and obviously I've done Jordan 3s before it, so this is just a silly mistake, man. I could have, I should have compared it, and this is a great reason to have my reference, dude. I had a reference sitting right next to me, and I should have checked my reference, man. But it's all good. Yeah, exactly, Lewis. I was just thinking the same thing. I'm like, man, I feel bad that I left it the way it is, man. But I could knock out so many coats on that thing, and it'll still look grayish white. So I'd rather just do it right. I think you guys seen. Well, if you haven't seen, we could check my first video out of this, and you could see how I painted it airbrushed white in the first place. You know what I mean? So, anyways. Oh, no, this wasn't a custom, Graham. This was supposed to be just a restoration. So I just didn't see that I messed up and I painted that black yesterday night. That's all. I just, I was a little goof up, and I should have known. But anyways, guys, anybody else? Okay, let's strip the paint and start over. Okay, I'll send it to you in Texas, fool. You could do that. And actually, you know what? I'll send you this one too. Get this one done for me too, bro. At the same time while you're at it. So, what I'll try to do, guys, if you don't follow me on Instagram, please do follow me on Instagram. It's at Feel Good Threads. All my social media and stuff is up here. Facebook, what else? Instagram, Twitter, my Patreon family. I don't have you guys up here because I don't know why we couldn't find the logo or something. What happened with that, Speed Infusion? We need to have a Patreon link, bro. Something. Anyways, if you guys want to learn higher than this, shout out to people like Verdal. Armani Luna yesterday joined. We got, new family joining the Patreon family all day long. So trying to give away some stuff. Once we get to 40 subscribers, which I think we're about 3 subscribers away, we're going to jump into another giveaway. And then at 50 subscribers, we're going to give away an airbrush. So if you're interested in an airbrush, if you're interested in learning, if you're interested in reconstruction and higher level stuff, patreon.com/feelgoodthreads is the place to be. And of course, man, I always appreciate you guys' support. So either way, if you guys have double tapped and liked a photo or commented or followed or subscribed, man, I love you guys so much. I don't think I have any questions, man, so I think I'm going to call it a wrap for today. Again, my name is Sohail with Feel Good Threads. Speed Infusion is definitely slipping Graham. Graham's part of the Patreon family too, man, so he knows. See, man, everybody get on Speed Infusion, man. We need that Patreon logo up, bro. We need that logo up, homie. You need a rep. That's my #1 family right there, man. They're supporting. So, Lewis had a question. Do you use matte finish when you're done? Sorry, man, I missed that question. My bad, yo. Yes, absolutely, I do. I like the matte finish just because it leaves that factory look. If you didn't have, just a side note here, if you didn't have flat black or flat white that day, you can also use this finisher and it will turn it into a matte or a flat. Okay, so just kind of giving you a heads up there. It could save you a little bit of money, or if you're in dire need of finishing a custom and you don't have flat white or flat black, that will help you out. Miss this little edge. Boy, I tell you, customs can go on for so long if you miss little spots like this. And this is it's just standard mistaping. I mistaped here. Trying to act like a badass and I mistaped. Thought you were good, bro. Thought you knew how to tape, dog. I thought I did too, man. There we go. Just a light layer, and I'm gonna just go ahead and let that little settle out. Let that settle out and just kind of move on. The nice part about that is at least I got most of the edges already, the white edges. Same thing like right here. Gotta get a little bit. This is because the tape was coming up and I kept trying to fix it, but it's kind of hard when you lose the line sometimes. You just kind of guesstimate it, right? There we go. Yeah, I think a majority of people, Lewis, uses matte finisher, bro. Oh, speaking of, man, if you guys need that discount code for Liquid Kicks, it is, you guys can use my discount code. I always forget to mention that, so make sure I mention that today. It's just Feel Good, FEELGOOD, Feel Good, and I think you get 10 or 15% off, one or the other. Something, man, save you guys a little bit of money. Use that for something else, right? So you build that's how you build all your materials list. Gotta save up for stuff. Unless you're rich. You got that mom and pop's money, right? Yep, this is another reason why I don't do restorations. These joints take forever to do, man. Call me spoiled. Superman lover, dude, you are gonna find knickknacks all day long, bro. That's the same thing for me. Like I think I told you guys a million times. All right, guys, I'm done with the stream, and da 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 da. And then as I'm looking at the shoe, I'll see something I gotta fix, and I'm like, damn, I gotta fix that now. It's gonna bug me, or I'm gonna miss it later on, which is even worse. So I just kind of run through the whole shoe over and over. And yeah, that's kind of the nature of the beast, Superman lover. You're gonna notice that as you get more and more experienced, you're going to want your quality to look better too, right? At the end of the day, like, you're doing this for fun. I'm sure you're doing it as a hobby or to make money, but you want your work to look like immaculate when it's done. So I can't stream anymore because see if I put down tape on the black portion speed infusion, it's not dried enough yet, and that's the problem. You know, I gotta sucks, man. Unfortunately I can't. I'm not gonna risk putting masking tape on there to rip it off to see that it came off too. This needs, I would say it needs at least 2 hours to get a good bond, and the last thing I want to do is peel off something that's trying to stay on and stick. Blow it like an NES cartridge. Okay, cool. 2 hours still. Anything else? I think we're good, guys. I'm sorry that I did mess up on this little bottom part here. I did want to finish the custom up, but it's going to take a little bit. You know what I mean? 600 more times. All right, bro, man. I'm going to just ship this to you. You can go ahead and do that for me, dog. And I'm going to enjoy the weekend because I've been working too dang hard this week. Let's take off this. Let's see if this stain comes off. Let's see if the stain comes off. I just took a little bit of acetone and gotta swipe it quick. Don't swipe into it, swipe away from it. Don't swipe it into the thread. You don't want to stain the thread. Cool. That was productive. I did one thing right today. Oh, man. Guys, if you haven't already, please join our Discord. We haven't even mentioned the Discord today, man. We got too many things going on, I swear. The Discord, man. The Discord for the customizers that are new to the group, guys. We have a Discord. It's our Feel Good Discord. We're going to be having a giveaway in there as well, just like we had a giveaway on YouTube and Twitch. So would love to see your guys' work. We're trying to get artists in there. So I know people like Webb's Custom Kicks, Flight School Customs, the Dye Lab. A lot of these guys have put their work up there. And we're trying to have a nice, new custom culture in the Discord world. So I'd love for you guys to join us, Hard work, hard play, homie. I agree with that. So, all right, y'all. I'm going to let you guys go. It's 5:01 p.m. here, Pacific Standard Time. I think it's a good time to call it a wrap and enjoy the weekend. I hope you guys all have a Feel Good Friday. Again, my name is Sohail with Feel Good Threads, and I'm out of here.